Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James. Happy New Year to you guys. January 10th, 2011. Here's your first live trading recap of the new year. And boy, we got right back to our same old tricks again today, guys. Almost like we never left off. Let's see what the most important thing happened today was. Well, first of all, first day back, right? What's my goal first day back? Guys, and it doesn't have to be a big vacation either. Let's say you go away on a long weekend. Let's say you're sick, right? Maybe you can't come to the market, right, for a week or so. Or maybe you go away on vacation like I did and you spend a month away from the markets. Well, of course, today, the first day back, my goal is not to make $1 million, guys. My goal is not to be trading. My goal is just get into the rhythm, get my confidence back, right? Get through my morning routine. Guys, you know what it feels like, right? You woke up this morning. You've got new ninja charts, you've got new indicators, right? The auto trader running in the background, but everything kind of feels a little bit brand new again. So today, take your time, get back into the rhythm again, right? Even if you didn't take a single trade today. I didn't think today we'd take any trades. Of course, we saw some pretty good patterns though. We'll talk more about that later on in this video, but for the purpose right now, though, I want to remind you guys, first day back, get into that rhythm. Have some fun. Get your feet wet, right? Get moving again because you've been standing still for the past couple weeks now. We want to get back into the rhythm markets. Now, today was kind of an easy day. We didn't have much news events, right? There was no news today. Now, news is always going to be a good catalyst. But if you look at your charts, guys, look at your calendar, most of the news is later on this week, Thursday and Friday. So it looks like Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday will be a little bit of hurrying up and waiting for things like the CPI, the jobs, right? A lot of the reports that are coming out later on this week. Now, with no news today, we also saw a flat dollar. What does a flat dollar mean for us, guys? The dollar is the correlated market, right? If you buy crude oil, you're short the dollar. If you sell the euro, you're long the dollar, right? Makes sense? It's one of the purest natural correlations you'll ever see when it comes to being a trader. So, of course, we're always watching the dollar. When the dollar is flat, we also check the ATR. The dollar was flat, low ATR. What does that mean for the other markets we trade? Well, if I have a flat dollar, then there's no correlation to push the gold, the crude, the euro, the Russell around. So flat dollar usually means flat markets elsewhere. Now, we always talk to our clients about the fact that one of the first things we look at each morning is the dollar. And if the dollar is flat, if the ATR is dropping, then what do? We sit on those hands and we wait for when the dollar begins to move. A moving dollar is going to be a catalyst. So the crude, the gold, the euro, the DAX, the S&P, the Russell, everything else starts moving. All right, guys? So right now, if you're taking notes right now, you want to make a note about check the dollar first thing we do each morning. Now, again, our morning routine, we'll go over the morning routine tomorrow morning, but that's what we saw this morning, flat dollar. Now, the gold market usually follows the dollar pretty well. Now, why would the gold market follow the dollar? Well, it's a shelter market. If you were concerned about the health of the dollar, if the dollar's dropping, what would you do? You wouldn't put your money in stocks, you'd put your money in gold. Right? Gold being a shelter market, people are taking shelter from a falling dollar, from a falling euro, from a falling equity markets. Whatever the concern is, people are taking shelter from that storm in the gold. Well, as you can imagine, if the dollar is going flat, because the mass majority, right, they have no conviction of going up or down, then of course the gold will do the same thing. Right? If there's no movement on the dollar, there's usually not much movement on the gold. And so seeing the dollar the way it was, we knew right away, probably going to have some concerns about gold this morning. So we were concerned about gold. Now, the crude oil, right, even though it was also going pretty flat this morning, had a wedge pattern. Now, how do we trade a wedge pattern? We buy the lows, we sell the highs. Now, we'll take a look at crude this morning. That's the only market we traded today was the crude, and we saw a wedge pattern. Now, a wedge pattern, now, see, I remember, boy, 10 years ago when I first began doing this, I used to shy away from wedge patterns. Now, I see a wedge pattern, and I see dollar signs because wedge patterns are signs of price consolidation, but they've got to break out somehow, right? Sometime you've got to break that wedge, and when it happens, we're usually ready for it. So we took a couple trades today off the crude oil, right, with that wedge pattern. And really, for the most part, though, if I could sum everything up today, right, first day back, a Monday morning, second week of the year, we saw about an hour of price action this morning that was worth trading. And it actually kind of worked out wonderfully because I did a good job at kind of jamming up my charts early this morning, right, on our new ninja charts. And so I really didn't get trading until about 9:30, 9:45. And It wasn't until about 9:30, 9:45 that we started seeing some actual good price movement. So we really only got about an hour of price action today that we really could use. And like always, we were ready, willing, and able to react to that when the time came. So lots of stuff happening today. My main goal, though, was to get back into the rhythm, right? Make some mistakes. Okay, push the wrong button, take the wrong trade, get back into the rhythm, guys, right? What do they always say, right? If you're going to walk a mile, run a mile, you've got to take that first step. And the first step happened today, getting back into the rhythm of things here in our live trade room. So welcome back. Welcome 2011. We have an exciting year ahead of us, guys. We took 6 trades today, as you guys can see here. Now, boy, pleasantly surprised at our results today. 121 ticks, 1210. Now, of course, 121 ticks, that's a pretty good result today, but for a Monday morning on our first day back, I'm actually pretty happy with that, right? Pretty happy with 121 ticks. As you can see, though, looking over our results, what was the big key component here? The key was the wave pattern, then we sold the highs, and one more thing, the third and final target. What made us the most amount of money today was knowing where to place that third and final target, and I shared that with you guys, right, in live trade room this morning, so you knew exactly where I was waiting to take my final profit target. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those trades got all 3 profit targets filled, and that is what really, right, gives us these big winning trades. The difference between 2 targets and 3 targets is usually about $100 to $200. So times 4 trades, there's an extra 60 to 80 ticks you'll make just by simply knowing where to put your final profit target. So what happened today? 6 trades, 121 ticks. Daily total, 1210. Weekly total, 1210. Monthly total, 1210. And of course, our brand new yearly total of 1210 as well. We finished up last year with $250,000, guys, on 4 contracts, and we finished up the month of December last month with over $20,000 and change for your results. All right, guys, so good day today. Let's take a look, though, now. Let's take a look and see how we got there. Now, first of all, we always start with the dollar, right? The dollar is where we always begin. Now, why do I begin with the dollar? Well, again, it's because it's the only pure, right, negative correlation you're going to find here, guys. All right, so here are my dollar today. And again, the dollar being the first place we start because the dollar is going to give me a heads up for the direction ahead, whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day, right? If I have a moving dollar, I know to be getting ready for trades. If I have a sideways dollar, slow and sluggish dollar, like we saw this morning, we know we're going to have to be a little more careful. All right, guys? So here's my dollar, and what do we see right away here? Well, first of all, we have, right, trend line off the high, trend line off the low. Now, what do we call this? We call this a wedge. Now, of course, being at the high of the wedge, what do you think we're going to do here, guys? At the high of that wedge. See where I am? So I have a wedge pattern on the dollar, and I'm at the high of the wedge. Now, what is that going to tell me? How do we treat wedge patterns? We sell the highs. We buy the lows. So right away here in the dollar this morning, we knew 2 things. One was we had a slow dollar, right? Slow speed, not very much volume. And the second thing was we were at the top of our price wedge. Now with the top of the price wedge, I'm now immediately thinking I'm going to come tumbling back down here, and that's exactly what we were looking for. So we were expecting to see the dollar drop. What do you think we'd be looking for if the dollar was dropping? Any guesses? Well, what is the dollar? The dollar is a negative correlation. So now I know 3 things. The first one was slow and sloppy dollar, got to be careful today. Second thing was we're at the top of our price wedge, right? Top of the channel. What do? We're expecting the dollar now to fall. And now the third thing we now know, if I have a falling dollar, what do you think that means for my trades? What direction do you think I should be trading? Falling dollar? How about to the long side? So we know based upon the dollar, we've got to be careful. And we're probably going to see the better trades today to the long side. Let's take a look and see how things went.